Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today, the LEC is back. That is so awesome. This week off, hey, I'm sure it was nice for a lot of the players and a lot of the Riot staff and everything like that. But to me and a lot of League of Legends esports fans, it was just not the same. The last weekend really did suck. Having to take a break in the middle of the season, not having games all weekend to just sit on the couch, lay in bed, whatever, and chill out to. So I'm so glad that the LEC is back. But in this video today, I want to talk about a really big update that has come out from around the world, global League of Legends, that I would really hope and love to see Riot implement in the future. This is a really big change that I think could bring some new life to League of Legends esports and really reinvigorate the esports scene in a huge way. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. But first, a word from today's sponsor, which is, of course, Prize Picks. All you got to do is pick over or under on player props, and you have a chance to win up to 10x your cash. You can get it today in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store or on their website. They have big payouts, 24/7 live support, and fast and secure withdrawals. Some of the picks I'm looking at today for the LEC games are these two right here. I'm going Syncroft over 1 kill against Mad Lions. That just seems too low to me. It seems a little bit disrespectful. And then I'm going Carzzy over 2 kills against Rogue. I don't know why I couldn't think of the name, but they're playing against Rogue. I think both those numbers seem way too low. I'm taking the over, but if you guys want to make some picks of your own, check out the first link in the description below. Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100 for new users. So thank you so much to them for supporting us, and hopefully you guys check them out. With that being said, let's get right into this. So what we are talking about today comes from Cadrill's Twitter, but really it comes from this LPL fan club Twitter. This is an idea that people have floated around before, and people have said, oh, hey, that sounds like it would be really cool. Oh, hey, that sounds awesome, but Riot would never do that. Oh, hey, that actually I think would be really fun to watch. Hey, that might get me to watch more League of Legends. Oh, that's a very interesting wrinkle, whatever. And that is this. Cadrill tweeted out, wholly based, LDL adding some draft diversity to the world, and here's what the LPL fan club account tweeted out. They said, LDL officials will adopt the fearless mode in best of threes. When best of threes go to game 2 and 3, all champions picked by your team in the previous games in the series will not be available for picking in the following games, while the opposing team is not restricted by this rule. And some people didn't really know what that meant. It's kind of reads like another language translated to English, maybe by a non-native English speaker or whatever. It was a little bit confusing, but pretty much what this means, it's like very close to making sense, but I just don't think it quite makes sense. In a best of 3 or best of 5 or whatever, in a series of games, whatever champions you pick, you can't pick again. The enemy team can pick champions that you've picked before, but they also can't pick champions that they've picked before. So when any team picks a champion throughout the whole best of 5, that champion is removed from the pool for that team for the rest of the series. And this isn't a crazy original idea or anything like that. This is an idea that's been floated out by the community. It feels like for years, and at times before. I know some people's idea has just been like, if a champion gets picked by either team, it should be removed from the draft. This is a little bit less restrictive. This makes it a little bit more reasonable. This makes it a little bit more viable. But all of a sudden, this makes things way more interesting. And I can actually show you guys an example because the LDL has actually already started this. If you guys don't know what the LDL is the academy team, the academy league for the LPL, the Chinese league. I don't know what LDL stands for, if it stands for like League of Legends Development League or whatever. But yes, it is the second league in China, and they are already testing this. And here is what a 3-game series looks like. You can see Team WE.A. They have picked Gnar, Lee Sin, Ahri, Samira, Rel, Kale, Wukong, Talia, Jinx, and Tahm Kench. The other team has picked Lulu, Ophelio, Sylas, Poppy, Sejuani, Tahm Kench, Senna, Azir, Trundle, and Jax. And then you still have the 5 bans for each team. So there could possibly be up to a total of 30 champions removed from the pool. Now, there isn't, because obviously you can see there's some overlap. There's some Tahm Kench for both teams. And in a lot of times there might be some champions picked by both teams. But again, originally, way back in the day in competitive League of Legends, we had the 3 bans, and there was, a smaller total champion pool. And then, they've added more and more champions over time. We got up to 5 bans, but now they're still adding champions and champions and champions. There's so many freaking champions now, but in the competitive pool, with how competitive play is and just how a lot of things go, and how there's certain champions that are just always going to be better in coordinated pro play, even if you nerf them, like Rise, he has like a 39% win rate in solo queue, but he's still pickable and competitive, and Corky's terrible in solo queue, but he's still pickable and competitive because their kits are just better for stuff like that. There's always going to be certain champions that we see in pro play over and over and over again, and people always complain, oh, we just get Corky Azir meta, and this is the 15th Corky Azir meta we've had in the last 2 years, and all this stuff. Well, if you start adding things like this, you will start seeing way more interesting drafts, way more interesting individual picks. Teams and players will be rewarded for having large champion pools, which I think is way more interesting than players that just have one play style or just a handful of picks or whatever. Like, I'm thinking, the meme of like Arma, he can play Dino Gnar, he can play Astronaut Gnar, he can play Gentleman Gnar, stuff like that. Like, players like that should not be rewarded. Those should not be our best professional players, but it also rewards good coaching, good strategy, good drafts. I mean, as you get deeper and deeper into this thing, your drafts have to get more creative, more interesting. And still at the end of the day, like you can see here, it's not like in game 3, teams are ending up with terrible picks. Hey, other team first pick Vex, other team first picks Wukong. Like, Wukong is one of the top champions in the meta right now. Wukong is very, very good. So it's not like this system, especially in a best of 3, it's not like it totally cripples you. It's not like, we're down to, I don't even know. It's not like we're picking some crazy champions that are like totally unreasonable or anything like that. You can see Corky's banned in this game. Jinx is banned in this game. Zeri's banned in this game. Like, both teams still have plenty of champions to pick, but it gets way more interesting. I do think it gets really, really fun and exciting. I can absolutely see some people saying that it's a gimmick or it's kind of stupid or whatever, but I think this would be really, really cool. I think it would spice up the competitive meta. I think it would spice up pro play. I think it would make games way more interesting. I think it would reward better players, better coaches, better strategies, all of that. Now, hey, this is going on in the LDL. I don't know. I would love to see this in other leagues. It kind of gets hard because obviously in the LDL they're playing best of 3s, it appears, in the regular season, and that's not something we have in the ERLs. It's not something we actually do have this in. I think there's best of 2s in the LCS Academy system, so maybe we could get some stuff like that. But this would be so cool to see for best of 3s in like the LCK and LPL. It would be so cool to see for all best of 5s and all playoffs. It would be so sick to see it like MSI Worlds. I think this could add so much more hype and stuff to the matchups. And this idea from Reddit was actually very, very interesting. Can the LCS adopt Fearless mode for lock-in? And I think this would be perfect. Obviously, Lock-In is a kind of meaningful tournament where we see the LCS teams playing all their best players, all their best lineups, everything like that. There's a couple $100,000 prize pool or something like that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. There's no MSI, there's no Worlds implication, there's no title. Yeah, you get a title at the end of it, but it's not like an LCS title, anything like that. It's really a warm-up preseason tournament. This, I think, would be an awesome way to test this out in a major region. We could also see this in Kespa Cup, or I can't remember the Chinese version of the Kespa Cup, but they could absolutely try it in there too. But I don't know, like 2024, if we could get something like this rolled out across the board in the competitive scene. Also, this would really make me want to get best of 3s in both the LEC and the LCS. But either way, the draft we just saw, that was in a best of 3, but things would get even crazier if we went to game 4 of a best of 5, we went to game 5 of a best of 5. And overall, I can see how some pro players would complain like, oh, we have to know so many more champions, we have to know so many more strategies or whatever. But then you would also get way more interesting champion picks and matchups. Players would have incomplete information about champion picks and matchups because there'd be no way to know all the matchups and all the champions and everything perfectly, which could add some more excitement to the games, because if you don't know the matchup perfectly, that's how you can lead to opportunities for more solo kills and more individual outplays and stuff like that, which is absolutely something pro play lacks. Overall, I just think this would be awesome in so many different ways. I hope we get this at some point in the future for all competitive League of Legends, but I would love to see it in 2023 rolled out in the lock-in tournament. For once, this is a huge W for Reddit. I love this idea, but either way, the LDL is doing some really, really cool stuff. We're trying out some cool stuff. I think this could be massive for League of Legends esports, because obviously in the LCS and the LEC in some ways, maybe some people think the games are getting stale. Maybe it's not as exciting as it once was. Maybe the meta is super boring. Let's spice things up. We have a bunch of champions. Let's put more of them to use in professional play. I don't know. I think it'd be cool. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. First link in the description below for prize picks. Second link in the description below for Discord. Hopefully I catch you guys on the next one. But until then. Peace.